Wi-Fi, it's like this invisible force that powers our entire digital world. And let's be honest, for most of us, it kind of feels like magic, right? Well, what if I told you it's not magic at all, but actually a fascinating journey your data takes on an invisible highway? In the next few minutes, we're going to pull back the curtain and see how it really works. All right, first things first, let's tackle the single biggest point of confusion out there. Is that Wi-Fi signal on your phone the exact same thing as the internet? And the answer? It's a simple but really crucial no. Understanding why is the key to, well, everything else we're about to cover. So here's our game plan. We're going to start by untangling Wi-Fi from the internet once and for all. Then we'll dive into the radio waves that actually carry our data. After that, we'll follow a piece of that data on its crazy journey, figure out why our connection sometimes slows to a crawl, and finally, we'll talk about how to lock it all down and stay secure. Okay, let's dive into section 1, Wi-Fi versus the internet. Time to untangle these wires. Okay, so here's the absolute biggest difference you need to know. Wi-Fi is totally local. Think of it as your own private network, a local area network, or LAN, that connects all the devices inside your house. The internet, on the other hand, is the giant global network, the wide area network, or WAN, that your house connects to. So Wi-Fi is your personal bridge, the internet is the worldwide highway it gets you to. So think of it like this chain of command. Your phone uses Wi-Fi to talk to your router. The router then talks to your internet service provider, your ISP, through a physical cable. And that ISP is what connects you to the whole global internet. And this explains that super frustrating problem we've all had, right? You've got full Wi-Fi bars, but nothing's loading. It just means your local bridge is working fine, but the connection from your house to the rest of the world is down. On to section 2, writing the radio waves. Okay, so if Wi-Fi is our wireless bridge, what's it actually built out of? The answer? Radio waves. This is the invisible highway our data travels on. Now, before we get any deeper, there's one term we gotta get straight. Gigahertz, or GHz. And don't worry, it sounds way more complicated than it is. All it means is the frequency, or the speed of the radio wave. You can just think of it like the speed limit on our invisible highway. A higher number means a faster wave. Simple as that. So your router is basically broadcasting on two different kinds of highways. The 2.4 gigahertz band is like a long, winding country road. It can go really far, and it's great at getting through obstacles like walls. But man, it's slower, and it gets jammed with traffic from microwaves, Bluetooth speakers, you name it. The 5 and 6 gigahertz bands? Those are the express highways. They are way, way faster with a lot less traffic, but they have a shorter range, and yeah, that same wall can block them much more easily. And we're not talking about a small speed difference here. It is massive. Just look at the jump on this chart. Going from 2.4 to 5 and now to 6 gigahertz is a huge leap in how much data you can move. So if you're trying to stream a 4K movie or get a competitive edge in online gaming, you absolutely want to be on that 5 or 6 gigahertz express lane. It's a total game changer. Section 3, your data's journey. Okay, so we've got the basics down. We know what Wi-Fi is, and we know about the invisible waves it rides on. But what really happens in that split second when you click on something and a whole web page just appears? Let's follow the data. Believe it or not, it all starts as just a bunch of ones and zeros on your device. There's a tiny little Wi-Fi chip inside your phone that acts like a translator, converting those ones and zeros into a radio wave. That wave literally shoots through the air to your router's antenna, which catches it and instantly does the whole translation thing in reverse, turning the wave back into ones and zeros before sending it out to the internet. And this happens millions of times, every single second. Now here's a really important detail. Your data doesn't travel in one giant chunk. It gets broken up into tiny little pieces called packets. And the real genius is how modern Wi-Fi crams so many of those packets into the radio waves. It uses these really clever techniques that let it send tons of signals at once over the same frequency. It's kind of like having multiple, super fast conversations in a crowded room, but being able to understand every single one perfectly. That's what makes today's speeds possible. Section 4, why your Wi-Fi is slow. All right, now let's get to the part we've all been waiting for, the thing we've all screamed at our screens about. Let's use what we've learned to figure out who the usual suspects are behind a slow connection. I mean, we've all been there, haven't we? You're in the middle of a super important video call, and suddenly, you're a pixelated, frozen statue. Or you're settling in for a movie, and you see it, that dreaded spinning wheel of death. what is actually going on? Well, it's almost always one of these usual suspects. Remember that crowded 2.4 gigahertz road we talked about? Yeah, that's interference. And those walls and big pieces of furniture, they're like roadblocks for that super fast 5 gigahertz signal. Of course, the farther you get from your router, the weaker the signal is. If too many people are trying to stream and game at once, you get a network traffic jam. Even your neighbor's Wi-Fi can cause congestion. And sometimes it's not your Wi-Fi at all, it's just the internet plan you're paying for. Section 5, staying secure. Okay, last but definitely not least, security. Think about it. Your Wi-Fi network is literally the digital front door to your home. So how do we make sure that door is locked up tight? It really boils down to two key things. First, your password. That's the bouncer at the door, the gatekeeper. If it's weak, anybody can just waltz right in. Second is encryption. This is the really cool part. It basically scrambles all your data into a secret code while it's flying through the air. Only devices that have the key, your password, can unscramble it and read it. So, what should you actually be looking for? Go into your router settings. You want to see at least WPA2. That's the bare minimum modern standard. But if you have a newer router and you see the option for WPA3, pick that one every single time. It's the newest, the best, and the most secure option you have to protect that digital front door. And that really brings us full circle. We've learned that Wi-Fi is this amazing local bridge, connecting all your stuff in your home into one big network. But it's also the gateway that connects that personal network to the entire world. So the question I want to leave you with is this. Now that you know how it all works, are you really in control of what comes in and what goes out?